Your phone buzzes at 11:47 p.m. Congrats, we're excited to offer you. You stare at the number and your stomach does that tiny drop because you already know you're about to say okay and regret it for 2 years. Give me the next few minutes and you'll walk away with a clean, repeatable way to negotiate once and realistically add around $10,000 to your salary without sounding arrogant, awkward, or desperate. First, I get why you don't push. You're not lazy. You're not bad at money. You're just allergic to conflict, and your brain is trying to keep you safe. Plus, the offer feels like a gift. Like you should be grateful someone even picked you, especially if you're in Pakistan, India, the Gulf, or you're the first salary person in your family. Negotiating can feel like arguing with destiny. And there's also this fear. If you ask for more, they'll snatch the offer back and you'll look silly. So you tell yourself a comforting story. It's fine. I'll prove myself and they'll increase it later. That story is warm. It's also usually fake, because the real villain isn't the recruiter. It's the company's incentives. It's the salary band system, the budget calendar, and the "we'll see next" review trap. The machine is designed to pay you the minimum you'll accept, then blame policy like it's a weather forecast. Not evil, just efficient. And if you don't push at the only moment you have leverage, you're basically signing a 2-year subscription to being underpaid. Here's the mechanism people miss. Your first number becomes the reference point for everything after. Raise percentages, bonus targets, even the way managers talk about your market value. If you start low, every future increase is a percentage of low. That's how you work hard and still feel stuck. It's not your effort, it's the starting line. Think of the offer like a price tag on a jacket. If you grab it off the rack and sprint to the cashier, nobody stops you. If you pause and say, "Is this the best price you can do?" the cashier doesn't call the police. They check the system, they look for a promo, they ask a supervisor, same jacket, same you, different outcome. Salary works the same way, except the jacket lasts a season and the salary follows you for years. Quick micro story. Meet Adil, 27, Karachi, data analyst. He got an offer, 260,000 PKR per month. He was happy. His mom was happier. He almost replied within 5 minutes, but he paused. He did one thing. He negotiated once, just once. He sent a short email, took one call, didn't threaten anyone, didn't act like a CEO. Result, 295,000 PKR per month. That's 35,000 more. Over 12 months, that's 420,000 PKR. Over 2 years, 840,000 PKR. And that's before you count the bonus that's tied to base. He didn't become a different person. He just refused to let the machine pick his number for him. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but my industry isn't like that, or they already said it's fixed, or I'm junior, I have no power, or the quiet one, I don't want them to hate me before day one. Hold those thoughts. We'll handle them fairly. But first, the easy math reveal. Imagine 2 people doing the same job. Person 1 starts at $60,000. Person 2 starts at $70,000 because they negotiated. Both get a 7% raise every year. Year 1, 60,000 becomes 64,200. 70,000 becomes 74,900. The gap is now 10,700. Year 2, 64,200 becomes 68,694. 74,900 becomes 80,143. Gap 11,449. Year 3, 68,694 becomes 73,502. 80,143 becomes 85,753. Gap 12,051. You see what's happening? The gap grows even if both are treated equally. That's why one conversation can quietly snowball into a car, a down payment, or freedom from your credit card panic. The raise percentage is a blender. Whatever you put in first, it multiplies. And psychologically, your brain is fighting you at the worst time, because negotiation triggers 3 fears. Fear of rejection, fear of looking greedy, fear of losing the offer. So your mouth says, "Sure, sounds good," while your stomach whispers, "Why did you do that?" You're not alone. Humans avoid short-term discomfort even when the long-term cost is huge. It's the same reason you scroll at night instead of sleeping. Tiny comfort now, expensive regret later. Here's another twist that makes this easier. You're not negotiating with the company. You're negotiating with a process. A recruiter has a checklist. A hiring manager has a wish list. Finance has a budget. HR has ranges. When you ask calmly, you're giving the process a chance to work in your favor. If you say nothing, the process works against you by default. Silence is not neutral, silence is agreement. Okay, so how do you negotiate once and actually win? Not with cheesy confidence, with structure. You're going to do 4 moves, and you're going to do them like a calm professional, not like a desperate street bargaining scene. Move 1, delay the yes. Not forever. Just enough to shift from emotion to strategy. When you get the offer, you say something like, "Thank you. I'm excited about the role. I'd like to review the full details and get back to you by tomorrow." That's it. No drama. You're buying time. Time is oxygen. Now. Pause line. Never negotiate while your heart is doing push-ups. Move 2. Get the range without sounding like you're fishing. On the next call or email, you ask, "Can you share the compensation range budgeted for this position?" If they dodge, you say, "I want to make sure we're aligned before we finalize." You're not asking for secrets, you're asking for alignment. That word is magic. Recruiters love alignment the way aunties love beta. Now sometimes they won't give a range. Fine, you still don't fold. You go to move 3, anchor with a number and a reason. But you don't throw random numbers like darts. You anchor using 3 ingredients: market, impact, competing options. Market, what similar roles pay. Impact, what you will deliver. Competing options, even if it's not another offer, it can be ongoing interviews or other processes. Here's a clean script you can customize. Based on the role scope, my experience with X and current market levels for similar positions, I was expecting something closer to Y. Is there flexibility to adjust the base to reflect that? Notice the tone. No threats, no begging, just calm expectation. Small micro payoff. You don't have to sound tough. You only have to sound prepared. Prepared people are harder to lowball. Another catch that saves you from awkwardness. The expected salary question shows up way before any offer. Recruiter asks, "What are you looking for?" Your brain goes blank, then blurts a number that's basically your rent multiplied by vibes. Don't do that. You answer with a range and a redirect. Try, "I'm flexible depending on the full package and scope." From what I've seen, roles like this usually land around A to B. If we're in that zone, I'm happy to keep moving. That line does 3 things at once. It stops you from anchoring low. It signals you've done your homework, and it keeps the conversation going without turning it into a standoff. If they insist on a single number, you pick the top of your range, not the bottom, because the bottom is where they'll try to park you, and you attach a calm reason. Given the impact, expectations, and my experience with X, I'd be most comfortable around B. Then you stop talking. Yes, it feels like you're standing on stage with no pants, but the silence is where they decide how badly they want you. Here's the metaphor that makes it click. A salary band is an elevator in a building. Your starting salary decides which floor you enter on. Raises are the stairs inside that floor. You can run up the stairs, sweat, hustle, be the best, and still be stuck on a lower floor if you entered too low. Negotiating once is you pressing the elevator button before the doors close. Not forever, just before you're locked in. Mini scene. You're at lunch on your first week. Everyone's talking about their weekend plans. Someone casually says, "Yeah, my base is 75 plus bonus." Your smile freezes for half a second. You laugh, nod, take another bite. Inside your head, "Wait, I'm doing the same work." That moment isn't jealousy. It's data arriving late. Negotiation is how you make sure the data arrives on time. Pattern interrupt. The company is not your family. Stop trying to be the easy child. One more micro payoff. When you negotiate, you're also filtering for culture. A good place will discuss compensation like adults. A bad place will act offended by your existence. Better to learn that now than after you've moved cities, signed a lease, and promised your parents you're settled. And when you're ready to accept, you can speed things up without sounding needy. Say, "If we can get the base to Y, I'm comfortable signing today." It's not a threat, it's clarity. The process loves clarity, because clarity closes files and makes everyone look efficient. Also, write the counteroffer down before you respond. Your ears hear emotions, your notes hear numbers. That tiny pause stops you from accepting just to end the call. Now, move 4 is the secret weapon. Trade, don't demand. If base can't move, you negotiate the package. You can trade for a sign-on bonus, a 6-month salary review in writing, extra paid leave, remote days, a learning budget, title adjustment if it affects band, or a performance bonus tied to clear metrics. The villain hates flexibility, but it loves one-time exceptions. So you ask for one-time exceptions. Pattern interrupt. You're not asking for more money. You're asking them to stop underpricing the job they already decided they need. Let's make this even more real with a second micro story. Sana, 24, Lahore, first job in a software house. Offer, 150,000 PKR. She's thinking, who am I to negotiate? I'm lucky they didn't ghost me. Inner monologue, loud version. If I ask, they'll think I'm difficult. Inner monologue, quiet version. If I don't ask, I'll hate myself every month when rent hits. She negotiated once. She asked for 165,000 and a review at 6 months. They said base fixed, but they added 100,000 PKR sign-on bonus and put the review in writing. That bonus paid for a laptop and knocked out her debt. And the review gave her a timeline, not a fairy tale. Now, proof stack time. Third mode, behavior. Why does this work? Because recruiters expect negotiation. They literally build wiggle room into offers. If everyone accepted immediately, they'd lower the first number even more. Also, humans are weird. When you politely push, you signal confidence and competence. Not arrogance, competence. The company thinks, this person understands value. And value is what they hired you for. Here's the catch. The machine wants you to anchor yourself. Sometimes they ask, what's your current salary? That question isn't curiosity, it's a measuring tape. If you answer, you hand them a discount code, so you pivot politely. I'm focused on the responsibilities and the market range for this role. Based on that, I'm targeting around Y. If they push again, you repeat the same idea in new words. I'd prefer to keep prior compensation separate and align on the role's value. You're not lying. You're refusing to negotiate against your past. Objections time. No pretending. Real life. Objection 1. What if they rescind the offer? It's rare when you're respectful. Most companies don't want to restart hiring because you asked a reasonable question. The key is how you ask. If you say, pay me more or I walk, yeah, you can trigger panic. If you say, I'm excited, I want alignment, is there flexibility? You're normal. And if a company rescinds because you asked politely, that's not an offer. That's a warning label. Objection 2. They said it's fixed. Fixed often means fixed unless you give us a reason. So you respond with a reason and a trade. Understood. If base is fixed, could we explore a sign-on bonus or an earlier review tied to milestones? You're not challenging their policy. You're looking for options inside it. Objection 3. I'm junior. I have no leverage. Junior doesn't mean powerless. Your leverage is the cost of their time, the gap between you and their second best candidate. The fact they already mentally pictured you in the chair. You don't need to be senior to negotiate. You need to be prepared. Pause line. Preparation is louder than confidence. Now the negotiate once part, because people mess this up. They negotiate like they're in a tournament. They ask, get a counter, then ask again, until everyone is tired. Don't do that. You want one clean ask, one clean counter, and then you decide. That's professional, that's memorable. That's how you get paid without becoming a headache. So here's your one-shot framework. The 1 email plus 1 call combo. Email first, keep it short, then the call to clarify, then you finalize. Your email is 3 sentences. You start with gratitude and excitement. You follow with the number you're targeting. You end with a simple question about flexibility. Example. Thank you for the offer. I'm genuinely excited about joining the team. Based on the role scope and market levels, I was expecting the base closer to $70,000. Would it be possible to adjust the offer to reflect that? That's it. No autobiography, no trauma dump, no, I have responsibilities. Your bills are real, but they're not the company's problem. Your value is the company's problem. Now, if you want the 10K bump, you need to ask for more than 10Ks because negotiation usually lands in the middle. If you want 10, ask for 15 to 18 depending on the range. Not crazy, strategic, and you do it with calm tone, not ego. Let's do a simple math reveal with this. Say you're offered 65K, you ask for 80K with a reason, they counter 72K, you accept. That's 7K more than offered. Now add the bonus that's tied to base. If bonus is 10% of base, it becomes $7,200 instead of $6,500. That's $700. Now add employer retirement contributions or provident fund percentages that are based on base. Even a 5% match becomes bigger. Over time, that's how 7K feels like 10K plus, not magic, math. Also, remember taxes. In many places, salary bumps don't feel full because taxes eat a chunk. So you think, why bother? Because tax doesn't delete your increase. It scales it, and the future raises scale it too. You're upgrading the platform, not just this month's take-home. Now, I need you to watch for the oldest trick in corporate marketing, the monthly payment illusion. They'll say, we can't change salary, but we have perks. Perks are fine, but perks don't compound. Your base compounds. Base is the seed. Perks are seasoning. Nice, but don't fill you up. Pattern interrupt. Free snacks don't pay your rent. Wild, I know. One more mini twist. Don't hand them an open-ended question like, what can you do? That invites the smallest possible improvement. Instead, name the destination. Is it possible to get to 72K on base? Specific targets create specific solutions. Vague asks get vague answers. So what do you do tonight? Two versions. If you're broke or overwhelmed, you keep it tiny. Step 1. Write down the offer number and don't reply immediately. Step 2. Open a notes app and write 3 proof bullets. First, one skill you have that directly saves time or money. Second, one result you've produced with a number, even from university or an internship. Third, one market reference for what similar jobs pay, even if it's from 2 conversations and 1 job post. Step 3. Draft the 3-sentence email I gave you, swap in your number, and sleep. Yes, sleep. Because negotiating while sleep-deprived turns you into a chaotic poet. Step 4. Send it in the morning, then take the call. Breathe, say less, let silence do work. When they counter, you don't instantly accept. You say, thanks, let me consider that and I'll confirm by end of day. Even if you already know you'll accept. You're showing you have a spine. If you're stable and ready to optimize, you go 1 level deeper. Step 1. Build a tiny value file. 3 stories where you solved something, improved something, sped up something. Each story, problem, action, result. 1 line each. Step 2. Research the range properly. Not obsession, not 10 websites. Just enough to not be clueless. Step 3. Prepare 2 asks. Primary, base increase. Secondary, one-time bonus or 6-month review in writing. Step 4, rehearse out loud. Yes, out loud, in your room, like a weirdo, because your mouth needs muscle memory. Step 5, on the call, use the pause plus mirror technique. They say, we can't do that. You pause. Then you say, okay, help me understand what flexibility exists. You're not fighting them, you're guiding them. Now, a catch moment people ignore. Timing matters. If you negotiate after you already said yes, your leverage drops like a phone in a bucket. So negotiate before you sign, before you resign from your old job, before you announce to your family. Because once the emotional celebration starts, you'll feel guilty asking for more. The machine loves your guilt. Let's add one more micro payoff. Negotiation isn't only about money. It's about how you enter the relationship. If you can't advocate for yourself at the start, you'll struggle to advocate for your projects, your deadlines, your promotions. This one conversation trains your identity. You become the person who doesn't silently accept bad deals. You might be thinking, but I hate being pushy. Good. Pushy is annoying. You're not being pushy. You're being precise. You're saying, I want this. Let's make it fair. That's adult. That's professional. And if you're worried you'll freeze on the call, use this line. I'm excited to join. I want to make sure the offer reflects the role scope. Is there room to move on base? Then shut up. Silence is a weapon, but like any weapon, don't wave it around. Just hold it. Let them fill the space. People hate empty air. They'll start explaining. Explanations reveal options. Now, what if they truly can't move? You still win if you extract clarity. Ask, what would be the earliest point the salary can be reviewed, and what milestones would trigger that? Get it written. If they refuse to write anything, That's information. And you decide with open eyes. Another catch. Don't negotiate using your personal expenses. Don't say, rent is high. They'll think, that's your problem. Negotiate using market and impact. Market, what the job is worth. Impact, what you will produce. That's the language the machine speaks. One more quick story, because you need to see how small the action is. Rohit, Dubai, customer success. Offer, 12,000 AED per month. He asked for 13,500. They countered 12,800 and a commission tweak. That's 800 more per month. In a year, 9,600 AED. That's flights home or the emergency fund you keep postponing. He didn't win big, he won quietly. Quiet wins are the ones that build wealth. Now we close this with the real point. You've been told your whole life to be adjustable, to not make noise, to accept what's given and prove yourself later. That rulebook was written for someone else's comfort, not your future. You're not difficult for asking to be paid closer to fair. You're not greedy for correcting a number. You're just refusing to sponsor a company with your underpaid labor. Remember the 11:47 p.m. buzz? This time, you read the offer, you smile, and you don't rush. You breathe, you send the short email, you take the call, you do one clean ask. And whether they say yes, no, or halfway, you walk away knowing you didn't auto-accept the first number like it was fate. Because your salary isn't a compliment, it's a contract, and you're allowed to edit the contract once before you sign it. Make that one edit count.